I think all people want to strive for. And it also gave me financial freedom, which is just freedom to do things in life without the dollar controlling whether you can or can't. So, those two things, the books I was reading and the association with people in LTD that had already been successful, were very important players in me going forward and being a success in my own life.
All right, Trev, oftentimes people look too much at the end result. Can you just tell us a little bit the kind of challenges and struggles that you went through on your way to being successful as an independent business owner and the things you ran into?
I guess, Austin, my answer to that would be that, if you look at where you want to go, the bigger picture, sometimes it gets overwhelming. And again, I'll go back to some recommendations. I was recommended to read a book. It's called The Slight Edge. And when I was reading that book, it taught me that the importance of accomplishing something begins with pretty much the first step and being consistent at something on a regular basis. And so when you find out that if you just do a little bit every day toward a goal, eventually you find yourself moving closer and closer to that goal. But if you look at the bigger picture, sometimes it just kind of puts you in a freeze mode where you say, oh, my gosh, to completely get out of debt, I don't see how that could ever happen. But if you look at it day by day, step by step, and that, again, that has to do with planning, that has to do with setting goals, that has to do with a daily ritual of things you do. And so, what I've noticed in people that are successful is on a daily basis, they have a routine of things they do. And through that routine, they develop some great habits, whether it be eating habits, whether it be spending habits, financial habits, the words they speak, everything they do is geared around things that they decided to do several years ago, and they just walk it through to the point that where down the road a bigger picture comes clearer in view because you just do it little by little instead of all at once. And I think that's primarily what I found out from the book Slight Edge.
Trev, you said something about how successful people have a ritual of things they do every single day. Do you think that even unsuccessful people have a ritual of things they do every day? And if they want to be successful, what do they have to do?
What I realized is it takes the same effort to develop good habits as it does to develop bad habits. And some people just have a tendency to develop bad habits, which leads to lack of success or lack of reaching goals. And I think it's just the understanding, like I figured out that, it's okay to try something, to fail and then adjust, as long as you're moving forward and learning from it. What a tendency is on some people's part is to try something, fail, and not learn anything from it and continue to make the same mistakes over and over. But it takes the same effort. It's not it don't take a rocket scientist to figure out that, if you do good habits, like the example I'll use is if you're wanting to lose weight, if you go to the gym every day and you drink a lot of water and you eat just what you need, and maybe get on a good vitamin program, that over a period of time you will become a lot healthier and your weight will, be where you want it to be. Now, the opposite of that is you could develop a habit of eating late at night. You could develop a habit of eating fatty foods like sweets and things like that, and drinking soft drinks, and you'll get the results of that too, which is the opposite of what you're trying to accomplish. So it has to do with discipline. But it can be easily where a person's discipline is in the wrong area instead of the right area. When it's in the right area, you're most of the time going to hit the goals that you're shooting for.
All right, that was Trev Moore, and we can't thank him enough for sitting down and answering the questions that we had for him.
Absolutely, he's a phenomenal guy, and I would love to have him, on our podcast sometime.
Oh, most definitely.
He's got a lot of stuff to say. He's a very insightful person, and a lot can be learned from. Even us. We can learn a lot from it, and I know a lot of the people that would be listening could. All right. Well, I guess a good thing to do would be, going even more in depth on independent business owners and what they are, and I guess the best way to do that would be to, talk about, or compare rather, what most people do out in the world, trading their hours for dollars.
Just making money.
Yeah,
specifically?
the most widely used way of making money.
Yeah, well, 97% of people trade hours for dollars.
Yeah.
And in layman's terms, I hate to say that word, but in plain terms, people go out, find somebody to give them a job to do, and it's nothing short of paid slavery. It really isn't.
Yeah, and I agree with that wholeheartedly. And I guess to look at independent business owning, that's a pretty foreign thing to probably most of that 97%. Because if they had a better answer to their, financial situation, then they would probably be doing it.
You would think so.
Yeah. Like I said, most of that 97% probably doesn't know that anything like what we do is possible.
You're right.
I think that's pretty safe to say. And so a lot of people aren't informed of it. If they were informed of it, they would probably jump at it. I mean, a lot of them would jump at it, I would think,
And they are.
Yeah.
They are jumping at it.
Yes, it is definitely a growing portion of income making
thing.
But
it's plain and simple. You trade hours for dollars, it's going to wipe you out.
Yeah, because and it's as simple as this. You've got 24 hours in a day, and everybody does, and you're not able to, trading your hours for dollars. There's no way you can.
You can't work 25 hours a day.
Nope.
Nobody can.
No matter how hard you try, you can't do
it.
And so, if everybody's got the same amount of time, it's all about compounding your time. You have to make your time as valuable as possible.
Duplication. It's a business system. And a business system, the best way to describe a business system is give examples.
Yeah.
Like
McDonald's is a good example.
McDonald's is a good example.
Duplicating yourself, and
any kind of franchise is a really good example of duplication.
Yeah, and how does that work?
Well, the first thing you do is you have one entity, whether it's a storefront or anything else. It's one thing that you're doing, and you do that very well.
Yeah.
But no matter how much you do that good, that one particular entity, whether it's a store, whether it's an online business, no matter what it is, if there's only one, you've got 24 hours in a day for whatever that is to do to accomplish whatever it is it's trying to accomplish.
And it's also the same with, I don't mean to interrupt that, but
go ahead.
As far as employment, it doesn't matter if you are a cook at McDonald's. It doesn't matter if you're the best cook in the world. You can be Emerald or Rachel Ray or whatever, and be working at McDonald's, but they're not going to pay you for that
anymore. No.
Yeah, you're going to get paid the position, not how good you are or what you think you're worth.
Right.
So continue.
That being said, as far as that particular entity, we'll just say business, McDonald's. When there's only one McDonald's store, it can only do a certain amount. It can only sell so many burger, shakes, and fries in a 24-hour period.
Yeah.
But what Ray Kroc did, what he first did, was he started opening stores, different stores in different towns, which is a good concept, and it does duplicate himself. That's only the first step, because he was the owner, and he had people managing that store. But when there was a problem at each one of those stores, who had to go fix it?
He did.
He did. So he was duplicating himself to a point, but he was still in charge, so he still had all the headaches and problems. What he did was a total duplication, and he said, this is a win-win situation where I set up somebody in business, I teach them how to do everything in that business, they keep 98% of the profit, and I get 2% for teaching them what to do.
That's a very smart way to do it too.
Absolutely. It's a win-win situation. That business owner, who's going to work harder for themselves? Somebody. Are you going to work harder for somebody else, or are you going to work harder for yourself?
For myself.
Absolutely. And so the business owner that Ray Kroc set up in business is keeping 98% of the profits of that one store.
Yeah, and that's I mean, they're keeping the majority of that one, but as a whole, Ray Kroc, if he's got 30,000 of them, and let's say, I think it's pretty safe to say that they make $100 a day off of each one.
That's a safe thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and that is to say, $100 of that. I mean, 2% of that 98% would be $100. Is what I'm saying there.
That's safe to say. That's what was given to. That's what
the Federal Trade Commission. That's their numbers.
Yeah.
And okay, let's say he's got 30,000 McDonald's. I think that's it's gone up since that was
established.
Yeah. And let's say there's 30,000 and they make $100 a day. That's $3 million. $3 million right there a day. But now
But he got ridiculed when he first started doing it.
Oh, absolutely. Any visionary does.
Because it started back in the 50s, and what were people doing for dinner?
Sitting around the table.
Yeah. Leave it to Beaver mentality. Everybody goes home. Everybody gets around the table. Everybody eats a cooked meal. They talk. Blah blah blah. Nobody's going to go out for dinner in a fast food restaurant. That's what their mentality was.
Yeah, but he was a visionary.
An extreme visionary.
And
when he died, it was in 1985, and at that point he had opened up 8,000 stores.
So he was still making a pretty penny even whenever he was alive.
Exactly.